Hi, let's say you want to become a trillionaire. Crazy? How do you do that? So actually I want to discuss in this video potential opportunities for how to become a trillionaire in 2020 and beyond, who might become the first trillionaire and how to do it. So basically if you think about it, then to build a business which gives you millions, you need to find your own niche and basically put out a good product. And making a $1 million business is becoming more and more easy, especially with the scale that internet gives you. So for example, if you find the new perfect product for fitness, or it might be a new cool app, then actually making millions is not that hard, at least relatively to billions that or trillions that you might want to have. So what about billions actually? How do you build a billion-dollar empire? And the answer to that is quite hard because if you look at the list of billionaires, there are many of people currently at the list of Forbes of people with the net worth of at least $1 billion, and they're in many industries. So industry here is not the problem, it's more about the scale that you can get and the focus. So not over you have to find your niche, but you really need to be able to operate in a bigger market and have this opportunity growth so that you can scale the whole business to either hundreds or thousands of employees, or probably be in possession of different assets that bring you money, like for example Warren Buffett and different stocks that he possesses, or you might have a real estate empire. So it's all about the scale and focus at the $1 billion level. So what about the $1 trillion? We don't have any trillionaires yet, but probably we'll see some in the next 5 to 10 years if everything will be going at the current rate. And if you think about it, then the crucial thing here is to have your infinite growth potential for the business you're having. And it's great to look at two examples basically. From one perspective, Elon Musk, and from the other, Jeff Bezos. So Jeff Bezos has infinite growth opportunity because he's expanding into various industries, into various domains, and basically even if he gets hold of a one particular market, like for example selling books online, selling CDs online, then he can expand to another vertical or horizontal adjacent industry and basically start making money over there. So it's infinite growth potential because basically you scale vertically and not only going deeper, but you look for different industries where your expertise can be used already. On the other hand, Elon Musk is going deeper and deeper with everything he does, and if you look at Tesla and SpaceX, those two companies will probably make him a trillionaire in the end. It's going all in with Tesla into renewable energies. It's not about electric cars anymore, it's about batteries, it's about using solar energy to make different devices. Currently cars, but probably that will go much beyond that. So as we see, for example, the example with trucks, choppers and stuff like that, and maybe also potentially an aircraft or a helicopter at some point, that's also possible. And with SpaceX, the similar thing happens. He goes all in into the space exploration, into going into Mars and probably making money there. So you can go super deep, or you can start jumping into different verticals in order to make hundreds, dozens of billions of dollars. So if you think about it, if you think about that, then there are a couple of domains which are really, really good to become a trillionaire. And by becoming a trillionaire, I mean here that you have really this infinite growth opportunity. So first of all, you have mining asteroids as a viable option. You have redesigning transport and cities. You have autonomous AI and robotics and healthcare. Those are the four groups that I wanted to underline here, and I will discuss them one by one on why they give you a good opportunity to actually make $1 trillion. So first of all, if we start with mining asteroids, this is the way for SpaceX basically, and probably for Elon Musk to actually make his $1 trillion by extracting different valuable materials from asteroids, from Mars, from Moon, and probably from other things you can find in the galaxy outside of Earth. So this is super interesting. There are a couple of contenders here. Jeff Bezos is here as well with Blue Origin, also focusing on asteroids and Moon in particular. And this will be super interesting to see how it will develop in the next years. So mining asteroids is one because number one when it comes to becoming a trillionaire, because once you're able to get hold of an asteroid and start extracting these materials, then suddenly you have those various assets, materials that you can sell on Earth for a very high price and basically make money really, really quickly. Another thing that might be interesting from the perspective of making $1 trillion is transport and cities. So this is something which has infinite growth potential because basically each one of us is living in a city, uses some sort of transport, and we're thinking how we transport between point A and B or how we live. That's an infinite growth opportunity. So from one perspective, I wanted also to mention SpaceX and the idea that you can use rockets in order to move also from the point A on Earth to another point B on the Earth as well, and for example make a transport from New York to Shanghai in like 15 minutes. That's also one of the ideas of Elon Musk before going more into space. Another of his ideas is Hyperloop, so the transport between the cities, which is something between airlines and trains. Super interesting as well. Currently in the concept phase, there are a couple of MVPs, so a couple of already realized lines, but they are super short, not properly working yet, and we'll probably also see some changes here in the next years. So the transport is super interesting because if you're able to make that better, then you probably will affect directly billions of people, and that will give you trillions of dollars. So Tesla should also be here on the transport because, of course, this is between transport and cities, as especially that Solar City right now is a part of Tesla. On the other hand, you have the whole ideas of building smart cities. So I gave the example of Sidewalk Labs. Unfortunately, this project is now closed. This was the project of Google of making a smart waterfront in a district in Toronto where actually everything is organized about different devices, different technology. That was a super interesting project. Unfortunately, it never came to fruition, but I believe there will be many other projects. I should probably mention Alibaba Brain project here, but there are different other projects when it comes to how you can reorganize cities in order to make everything more efficient. And if you're able to make efficient and extract value from that, then again, this is $1 trillion opportunity when it comes to scale, as real estate is in general. So basically, another opportunity you can have is AI and robotics. That's for an obvious reason that if you're able to automate various jobs, if you are able to automate various business processes, then you can really do that at scale and then extract as much value at almost no cost. So here you can have this huge, massive operations, not paying anyone apart from AI, which can work 24/7. And the biggest contenders when it comes to actually developing various AI systems, which might be called autonomous, are OpenAI and Google, and probably DeepMind. I should add that as well. But actually, the way to monetize those higher-end AI is not clear yet. I mean, there are many applications, but there's no like one killer app which would show that some kind of autonomous AI or artificial general intelligence, or even a minimum viable product of our MVP of artificial general intelligence is achievable and can be monetized in a way to bring billions or even trillions of dollars. On the other hand, robotics is vastly used in industry. There are many factories, many warehouses using robots. Even Amazon warehouses are using robots in order to organize warehouses, move the products, move the inventory in warehouses themselves. So it has a lot to do with AI as well, because it's all about making your processes autonomous, making them not reliable on any human workforce. And if you're able to do that at scale, then of course that's a $1 trillion empire. Another thing is healthcare. That's probably the industry that I know the least about. But of course, healthcare is something that each person on Earth is affected by, especially pharma industry is super big. And if you think about how big those companies are, how $1 billion businesses they have built in the recent years, then there's definitely a potential to have one big consolidated $1 trillion empire when it comes to healthcare and pharma. But I have not enough knowledge to actually propose something here. So in the end, who might be the first trillionaire and how would it happen? That's of course an open question right now. My guess is actually that it will be either in a mining, space exploration, or AI. So either that will be SpaceX if they manage to mine asteroids or Blue Origin if they make it to the moon and start extracting different minerals there, or this will be some kind of autonomous AI that will be able to automate dozens of jobs at hand and basically create the whole ecosystem, extracting the value non-stop 24/7 without much of the additional cost and being able to scale really quickly. So this kind of AI system, this kind of AI company would probably dominate one market and then quickly can go from one vertical to another, from one industry to another, really quickly growing in speed. So actually, when it comes to AI space, to AI industry, there might be a new contender who's not even on the Forbes billionaires list like right now, but who will appear in the next couple of years. Because especially with AI, I think we're like early in the process of understanding how good machine learning is at different tasks and how to use it for different processes. So being on the war front with AI, it still amazes me that there are many companies who even haven't gone through the process of digitization. They have many paper documents, even though we think about super complex systems that can extract value from digital documents right now. But still, like, there are many people working still with paper and pen and doing everything by hand without any AI assistance on the way. So there's definitely a huge opportunity here, and it will come to fruition in the next 5 to 10 years. Of course, transportation, that's a huge thing, but there are and also cities, but there are many regulations and many regulatory issues that might happen here. That's why mining is so such a good opportunity, because you don't really have any regulation in space. If you can manage to do space exploration and bring those materials back to Earth and start selling them on the open market, that basically you get this money right away, and there are no risks really at this point, though I believe that there probably will be some regulation at some point as well. Also, healthcare is super good opportunity, but heavily regulated, very, very hard to actually do anything within healthcare without having a huge investments of at least hundreds of millions of dollars to start with in order to, for example, discover new drugs or have a new health process that will help millions of people. So it's really tricky. So yeah, this is it. This is what I wanted to do for fun as a video, how to become a trillionaire. Let me know what you think. Let me know what's your guess for the first trillionaire and who might that be and why. Why do you think so? Yeah, and if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like below this video, and see you in the next episode.